How's it going, and welcome to another video. We are working on my 2001 Ram 3500 today. Put in a lot of work into this truck over the past little bit, and it has paid off. I haven't really had to do anything for the past 6 months. And what we're doing today is an oil pan gasket seal. So unfortunately, I have put this off. This is not something I've done before. I've put this off probably for about a year now, and did the rear main seal, front main, oil cooler, trying to think if there's anything else. Rebuilt and resealed the vacuum pump. So pretty much every possible major leak source has been done. And the last one to deal with is the oil pan itself, really. The tappet cover I have had some issues with. I do want to point this out before we start. There's a Bean Machine billet tappet cover in there. You may or may not be able to see it. Kind of hard to see in there, I guess. But I pretty much removed the O-ring altogether and used some of the Right Stuff gasket maker, and it seems to be holding up better. It just, for whatever reason, my truck is not happy with gaskets on the tappet cover, and it does not seal well. So, main challenge with this, we're due for an oil change, which is why I'm doing it now. And main challenge for this project is the motor has to come up a couple of inches to clear everything. So I watched several videos on YouTube that I found, a couple of forums, and everyone says that you can prop up on the balancer to get it to come up a little bit. So pretty much we got two motor mounts we're going to take out, loosen up the bolts, and apparently that's all it takes is a couple inches. So the oil pickup tube kind of runs in this shape. You can see this little indent right here, that's for the tube. So it goes right here. So pretty much what we do is we're gonna undo the bolts, drop the pan a little bit, lift up on the balancer, and we're gonna have clearance to slide the pan around, kind of angle it, get the pickup tube off here, angle it back the other way, get the pickup tube mounting bolt, which is somewhere around here, and then let it drop in the pan and take it out. So that pretty much sums up what we're going to try and do today. And I say try, really hope we get it done, but we're going to see how this goes. So truck is warm. I'm going to drain the oil first just to get it done, regardless how it's come out. And once we start this project, I don't think it's going back together without a new seal in it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get it started. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start with draining the oil. And once that as it's draining, we'll go ahead and loosen up a couple things. So motor mounts, and we got to take off the turbo intake and what you call, not intake, but the turbo charge pipe, and we got, which is right there, so you can kind of see on the top side. And we got to take off the intake horn part just to be able to let it move without, or move independent of the intercooler. So let's go knock out the oil drain first. All right, so oil's finished draining. We're gonna put the plug back in, keep it from dripping. And now we're gonna go ahead and start on the two motor mounts. So that right there is the motor mount. See, I don't know if you can tell it's slotted, but we don't need to pull the bolts all the way out. This way, if it does, for whatever reason, drop back down, it goes right back into the hole. So we gotta pull them out far enough to clear that lip. We need the washer to clear the lip on that side and to clear the lip on this side. So that's pretty much the next task. Let me go ahead and do it on both sides. I'll show you the other one when we get to it. All right, so if you can tell, that bolt's sticking out now a good bit. We're just gonna tap it forward. I'll work on getting that thing forward so it's centered a little bit compared to the other side. But to be honest, I did not miss working on this greasy freaking truck. So let me go ahead and get that bolt bumped forward, and we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. All right, so that's definitely a pain in the butt. What you need really is I think it's a 22. I was using a 3/16 socket, but you need a deep well socket to get these easier. and unfortunately it started on the other side, so I couldn't do the same thing I did on this side. These bolts are flipped inverse, I guess, for whatever reason, but it is what it is. If you got a depot, much easier. I'm kind of not really trying to leave at the moment, so I'm just using what I got. So that's pretty much that. Both motor mounts are now loose. We got our pipes off and everything. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is remove a bunch of these, let me get the training line cooler thing out of the way, but we're gonna move a bunch of these bolts, get these guys out of here. I don't know a number count. All I know is they go back in at 18 foot-pounds. So I'm gonna get a bunch of these guys out, get the oil pan mostly loose, except for these guys will probably do, well, we have a pretty good amount of clearance, so get the oil pan loose. And then the only reason I want to do that later is I don't really want to jack up the motor and have this contraption right here for as long as I can help it. So that's what we're gonna go and do next. Go and get all these bolts off. Making pretty good progress. That bolt looks to be probably a 13 millimeter, so we got to use a separate socket for that one right there. Other than that, pretty much laying them out in the order that they come out. This way I know where they go back in, just in case anything doesn't want to line up just right. And let's go ahead and carry on. All right, so all the bolts are out. Had them laid over, knocked them over a little bit, but no biggie. Anyway, so this right here is our pickup tube. So that's actually super convenient. I did not realize it was right here. I knew it was gonna be in the area, but you know what I mean. So that's awesome. It means we can go ahead and take out these two 10 millimeters, set them off to the side, and not worry about dropping them in the oil pan. That was by far my biggest concern. But yeah, so let's go ahead and do that next real quick. Looks like you're gonna put silicone across these two areas right here. And this gasket's super brittle and dead, so kind of makes sense that it's leaking, I guess. You know, 200 and something thousand miles, 45,000 miles to be exact. All right, let's go knock out these two bolts and get that out of the way. All right, this other one is located right there. Seems kind of hard to see, but you can see it right there. And again, I know I'm gonna have more clearance with the motor up, but I kind of want to take all this stuff out with it down, just again, minimize risk. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and take out that bolt next real quick. And then that should free our dipstick tube and give us pretty much the whole reason the dipstick tube needs to come off. Not dipstick tube, the pickup tube needs to come off is because otherwise you have to jack the motor up way higher to clear it. So taking off the that tube right there just means we don't have to jack it up nearly as high to try and get this thing out, which helps out significantly. And I probably dropped it into the oil pan. So that's honestly one of my bigger concerns when it comes to putting this back together. So gotta be real careful we don't do that. All right, I will say having a deeper transmission pan almost really screwed me up right there, but there are 2 bolts, one here and here, that I was not aware of. Promptly dropped into the oil pan, so we got to be real careful when we're putting those back in. I do not want to do that. That would be very bad. But yeah, so there's oil pan, nothing too wild. We're gonna go ahead and scrape off this old gasket, clean up the surfaces. I don't really care about cleaning out the old oil in here. Honestly, I could care less. We're just gonna clean out all these surfaces, and then we're gonna go ahead and do the truck surfaces and continue onwards. Done, went ahead and did wind up cleaning it out. Used brake clean and a razor blade to go ahead and get off all the old gasket. This stuff is super stuck on here. So that's pretty much that. I'm really torn if I want to use silicone or not. This isn't the best gasket surface ever. We shall see on that front, but let's go ahead and check out the truck. So same deal, gasket's all cleaned off. I'm gonna go ahead and take some of the brake clean as well to that on a paper towel and just kind of wipe it clean before the oil pan goes right back on. But let's go ahead and get the old gasket out, or new gasket out rather. This is a new gasket. It comes with a new piece for our oil pickup tube. Set that off to the side, and then this is the actual gasket itself. Let me go ahead and unbungee this real quick and see what we got. All right, so I think what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go ahead and put it on just like OEM intended. So I went ahead and zip tied all the corners down so this way it doesn't go flying anywhere. Try to put this back on the truck. And all we gotta do is brake clean the bottom of the oil pan on the truck, put our silicone in the 4 locations, and then we should be good to go. All right, with that last engine mount bolt, we are done underneath the truck. So I did wind up putting it up on jack stands to relieve the suspension droop, because when I started lifting up the engine, it started picking up the whole suspension with it, because obviously that's the majority of the weight. Other than that, went ahead and torqued everything down to 18 foot-pounds, and I guess we're good to go. So I'm gonna go down the top side, reattach our intercooler boots, change my oil filter, refill it with oil, and I guess we'll go ahead and start it up probably tomorrow, to be honest. But yeah, that's where we're gonna cut it out for tonight. I'm gonna go knock that stuff off camera, nothing crazy, and it's pretty much good to go. This next morning, got everything cleaned up, oil in it and all that, and I don't see any massive leaks, so I guess we're good. I'm gonna go take it to work today, bring it back, check it when we get back and see if it stopped or not. So hopefully good. I also got a new belt, that squeak's getting real annoying. So see you in a little bit, guys. All right, I just got back from work a little while ago, about a 50-mile round trip. So we're gonna go and take a look under the truck and see how it looks. I did not clean up super well last night, so there might be a little residual oil down there, but I didn't see any dime marks in the parking lot, so I think it's an improvement at least, if nothing else. All right, so underneath the truck, and it looks like it's doing all right, but we definitely have something still going on here. Now, that may not be from the oil pan gasket itself, looking under here. It could still be coming from a couple different areas of residual old oil. However, definitely a huge improvement. Last time we got stopped driving, it would be freaking absolutely gross everywhere. So, is it perfect? Probably not, unfortunately. Might be something leaking off from where the starter is, something up higher. I don't know. But there you have it, guys. Oil pan gasket replacement. And I do think it's for sure an improvement over where it was. So that's pretty much gonna do it for this video. The method of getting the motor up with the front jack is mainly what I wanted to test out, dropping the oil pan and everything. So that worked out great. This doesn't totally stop and it's still leaking from that same spot a couple thousand miles from now. I may drop it again next oil change and do maybe the right stuff RTV maker all the way around there or something. But for the most part, there you have it. And well, we're done. So that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.